Advanced philosophy memes. We make good memes. Advanced philosophy memes. Base fucking memes. Advanced philosophy memes. We make good memes. Advanced philosophy memes. Base fucking memes. Shoutouts to Andreas, Deacon, my boy Scott, Pedro, and everyone else that engages on my posts. And Sarah, keep it up, man. You'll get there someday. And everyone else from Great Memes.
Dude, so my aunt has like some, like I think vaccine impairment or whatever you call it. She's like all screwed up. She's got this boyfriend who's taking care of her, kind of like caregiver level, and he had like a bad knee, I guess, from like football years ago. He's in his 60s. So he goes this weekend to his hometown to do a surgery, like a knee surgery, and he has a heart attack and dies waiting for his knee surgery. So now my aunt's going to go to like this convalescent hospital because no one can take care of her. Anyway, life and death, right?
I mean, I've always wondered like how I would react to a girlfriend dying as opposed to like a wife. If it's your wife, like your spouse, you make a whole production out of it, do the funeral. But if it's like your girlfriend, you still have some leeway to be like, actually, we weren't that like into each other, to be honest. We were just about to break up, actually.
For the last 40 years, we've been just about to break up. Yeah, that's I have a friend whose parents aren't married, a Danish kid, and his sister and him, he's got to be in he's almost 30 or so. Sister must be too, and she's got a kid too. But the parents never got married, and they don't ever plan on it. They've been together for decades, and they're never going to get married. And like his son asked like why they never got married, and the mom said because he has the boyfriend, whatever, the father has a bad knee. That's like probably the best excuse, because he
marriage in this economy with this knee, get out of here.
But in Denmark, they like pay you to have white babies. It's like a whole thing there, because they're racist, right? Danes for Denmark.
Yeah, I wonder if Japan will give me like a deal like that. It's like, hey, I know you're not Japanese, but you kind of look the part. We'll give you some money.
I feel like in Japan, if you like anime, that should count. You know what I mean? Because it's better than being Japanese. Like you have this like complete obsessive perversion of Japanese culture that you're going to romanticize and into realization. So you can make Japan what it's always wanted to be. And isn't that better than what real Japan is like? No one likes to talk about what real Japan is like. Real Japan is like 14-year-old homeless girls trading sexual favors for marijuana brought in from Ethiopian immigrants. Yeah, it's not what it used to be. I don't think. I think Japan's a lot more. I mean, I'm not complaining, but it's not like the cartoons. It's nothing like Pokemon anymore.
Yeah, I would say so too, especially because of there's the population decrease, which means there's a lot less young people to drive culture and fads and trends. So there's that aspect, and then there's a growing like xenophobia because apparently like all the quote unquote refugees have been turning shit up and making things a little complicated.
Yeah, for sure. I think it's also that the police are too old. I mean, they're not as disciplined or as likely to be as fierce as they used to
They never
be.
shot they never even shot guns like some of those like most of those cops.
You ever watch? We talked about Nomad Push, right? The Japanese homeless guy who does YouTube channel. You've seen him? Hey, hey,
ATM.
how's it going? Maybe you need to be up here. We're gonna put you up on the high bunk today. Good to see you. Or is that like, you know what? Maybe it's more of a, I don't know. Where do you feel like we all go? This is complicated. Is this right? This might be the move. Do you like this aesthetic? Is this the symmetry that we needed?
Hey, I remember back in the old days, all right, podcasting and stuff like this, they didn't even have video, all right? People should be grateful they could something to look at nowadays.
What's it called? Yeah, go ahead.
Denmark thing really quick.
Please do. Talk about Denmark.
I mean, this may be made up because I read it on the internet, but I had seen somewhere that the last time that Denmark sold land to sold an island to the U.S. that it was that it ended up becoming Epstein Island. Now, someone can definitely cross-reference and double-check that for me. It sounds believable to me. I mean, if they were the previous owners of Little St. James Isle or whatever it is.
I'm doing a background check right now, and it doesn't say so. Maybe there's some kind of a thing here we don't know, though, right? Like, what's it say? Jeffrey Epstein Island, U.S. territory. The Virgin Islands used to be Danish.
Used to be Danish. There we go. I don't know. Just saying.
The Virgin Islands themselves, all of them.
All of them. Yes. Okay. All right. Well, that still tracks. It wasn't a totally untrue statement.
Yeah, I know. That's good. That's good right there. I like Denmark. I don't know. I had a friend who lived in a Danish friend. I probably already said this at some point, but he got this cool apartment and I went to stay with him and I was walking up the stairs, but it was a nice apartment. And I say that to him and he says, well, yeah, actually, it's a funny story. The girl who used to live here was very suicidal. So she jumped out the window from the 4th story, but she landed in the clothing net, which broke her fall.
She just broke both of her legs, like no big deal.
Not until the next time that she tried to kill herself, where she missed the clothing line and broke her back. And then now she can't climb up the stairs anymore. So that's how I have the apartment. That's what he said.
Cool.
Yeah.
I mean, good luck, bad luck. It's all the same.
Well, when they tell you that Denmark's like the happiest country, I think they've kind of stepped it back and they say it's the most content country, which is sort of like saying the country, like the most lithium country, you know? It's not like content's really different than happy, I think. I think people are actually like happier in a dangerous circumstance sometimes. Kurt, did you speak? Were you speaking, Kurt? Because
No.
you're muted. Oh, okay. Man, your mouth looked like ventriloquism inversed, where like there was no sound, but there was movement. Do you guys know about Toyoko kids, of course?
No.
You were talking about Japan and it's like kids and culture. Well, now you have this sort of like jaded generation of kids. Oh man. This is what Japan is like now. It's they just sit on the ground.
This just looks like early 2000s American mall culture.
In Nebraska, but yeah, totally. It's like this is what happens when you have fair enough. Yeah.
Well, it's also like you gotta understand, like these kids are chronically online more so than Americans. So they're probably on TikTok and they're seeing like these idiot Americans making millions by like, I don't know, acting like meat puppets on TikTok. So they're like, what the fuck? You know, and here I am like abiding Japanese like rules and you know, cultural dogma. Meanwhile, these kids are just doing whatever the fuck they want, getting rich off of it.
It's weird, like YouTube doesn't want you to see this. I'm just trying to share the video. It was like hiding it. That's crazy.
I like that Japanese Keenan and Peele thing. That was funny.
Dude. I mean, generally, I think Japan's changed because of the death, like you said, death culture. They're very superstitious in Japan, so That's one of the reasons why all the Akiyas are so cheap, like the cheap houses.
Yeah.
Go on
Well,
Japanese VPN. Don't ask how I know this. All right, bro. Yeah. No, I
well,
do that.
I have a theory that the Japanese people are going through what the Hopi people did. You know, where they're like transcending
Oh
past
yeah.
third 3D, and like this is what it actually looks like. It's not some like crazy uplifting moment where like they get like whisked away into the heavens. It's like nah, they just stop being people and
They
living,
stop
and
breeding.
yeah,
Yeah.
just go away. They're done with this shit. Like the
But why
dolphin.
though? Because the Danes are paying their people to have kids, but Japan makes it prohibitively expensive. In Japan, it costs a lot of money to get married. You have to have dowries and all this stuff. You have to have money saved up. And so no one wants to get married until they have like a savings account. And so a lot less of the population, a fraction of the population actually gets married. But if you were to just pay them to get married so that you created taxpayers and laborers for Japan, the state could actually implement a system that encouraged Japanese people to breed the same as they have in other countries. Why do you think Japan doesn't do that?
I think it's because the Japanese culturally are obsessed with like everything around them being beautiful. And sometimes like industrialization and productivity, especially with populating your cities and your places, it's not always going to be pretty. It's going to be pretty ugly. And like the Japanese just they don't have the tolerance for that, I think, for ugliness. So to
Well,
speak.
things are changing hard. That's why I was talking about the Toyoko kids, because Toyoko kids, it seems like it's a relatively new term. 2025 even. That's the new word for homeless or runaway teenagers and youth that are gathering in urban areas. And so these are kids that completely okay. What's the other thing that they do? Like the depersoning, Japan depersoning ghost. They take ghosting to a new level in Japan. What's this called again? Where they erase their own identity?
Dude, that's a real business in Asia, like in Korea, China, and Japan. Like, there's dudes who specialize in like making you disappear, primarily because a lot of
Evaporate.
people,
Johatsu. That's what it
yeah,
is.
a lot of people are prone to taking up debts that they can't really pay back. So a lot of people, dangerous people, end up wanting to kill them. So they have to hire someone, be like, "Yo, I need you to kind of make me disappear without me dying."
Yeah, they give you a new identity, and you have to move into the middle of the country.
Yep.
Johatsu. And apparently, this is a hugely popular thing already in Japan for the last 20 years. It's become, millions of people have escaped shame, have changed their identity and moved to a different part of Japan or maybe other part of the world. But yeah, it's actually beyond that. Now kids are just doing it to begin with. Instead of building up a life and waiting, they're just moving out. And so this is kind of the opposite of the shut-ins.
Maybe that's what they need. Maybe they need more rebel punk ass kids, like getting in trouble in the fucking streets, like some young adult novel shit. And maybe that'll inject some actual rawness into Japanese culture. I wouldn't know. It's not like I was ever Japanese, but my stepmom is half Japanese and she tells me some shit.
Yeah. What's your thoughts on Japan, do you think?
I mean, I think her family probably faced a lot of like prejudice because I think it was a Japanese man that married a Korean woman, and that might have probably caused them to
It was not cool yet yet to be. Yeah, totally.
Yeah.
It's crazy how that is. And the Koreans are running a lot of the entertainment and businesses, apparently.
I think there's some Illuminati shit going on with that because obviously it's transcontinental and there's something vaguely, I get a whiff of demonic shit, right? When it comes to the K-pop industry and their fucking movies and their shows. It's like, there's always something vaguely like, I don't know what to say. It's like, it's always like souls are in constant turmoil with that shit,
Speaking of, have y'all have seen K-pop Demon Hunters? Yeah.
I actually haven't watched it. I know it exists, and I've seen like clips.
It's definitely worth watching because the whole thing is about how like the main characters are in this band that like fight the evil forces through music, but then the evil forces start using music to try to, it's a lot of the stuff that Chris was talking about.
To me, all of K-pop with those girl bands, those are just like big ads for sex trafficking. I mean, a lot of the songs are just pretty on the nose about it too.
Yeah. Well, they figured out the formula that sells. But like any art, I think that art is very influential on like mood and spirit. So you could use it's just a tool, right? And you could use a tool for positive or negative means.
Yeah. I mean, I guess like one of the things about it is it could bypass rationality. You know, people will listen to like ridiculous lyrics that suggest you should like, yeah, fuck a bunch of guys and ghost all of them, or fuck a bunch of women and, you know, treat them like shit. And we're just like, yeah, this is badass, because the whole structure of music is just built as like liquid architecture, and it just bypasses your rationality so fast. It gets under your skin before you could even think about it.
Dude, you've seen that movie Josie and the Pussycats, right?
I saw the show, but I think I only saw I fell asleep through the movie.
The movie,
dude, the movie's pure good. It's just like crazy. It's a kind of a Dude, Where's My Car era movie. Oh, dude, why? It just must be me or something. Here we go. And it's about MK Ultra. The Josie and the Pussycats movie is totally an MK Ultra movie. They have to become famous. What's the deal? Do you remember, Andrew? Basically, like a plane crashes and kills the old band, and then they get found by the producer who jumps out of the plane.
What?
And they start putting mind control sounds in the back of their music to sell it. And it's like subconscious like noises. They listen to their record and they're like, here, it's going to sound a little bit better when we use our machine. And they're like, oh, it sounds great. It makes me
incredible.
Want to buy stuff. Yeah, and they're changing the messaging, like purple's the new black, black is the new orange.
There's also the whole like conspiracy with Project Monarch and how they would dress up these pop stars in like cat-like themes to kind of, I don't know, I guess like induce a kind of signal mind control. I don't know, some Manchurian Candidate shit.
Dude, I mean, definitely an important movie, Josie and the Pussycats. It goes really hard, actually, in the paint about mind control. You also saw Spice World in theaters? I mean, based, bro. Spice World's way underrated. I feel like Spice World's probably one. I mean, there's a whole scene where they meet aliens as well.
The Spice Girls are underrated. They were a huge pop act out of the UK of all places.
Yeah, how do you find that many attractive British people? I mean,
oh.
Well, I mean, were they? Am I mistaken, or were they like not on some like a lot of what do you call it? Labels were putting bands together back then. Like I know Limp Bizkit was formed that way, so I wouldn't be surprised if a British label was like, "Oh, we have all these singers, but we don't know what to do with them," and then slap them together.
I mean, what's the name of the dude who did all that? Like the mind control guy also. Oh man. Backstreet Boys producer.
Oh yeah. That dude.
Lou Pearlman. Yep. Dude, Lou Pearlman, you know his deal? Like how he had blimps. He had a blimp company, and then he would crash his blimps for insurance money.
That's brilliant.
He used that money to pay for boy bands. And he made the Backstreet Boys, and the Backstreet Boys were.
How did he get popular. Caught? He crashed too many blimps.
I think it was. I don't know if even. Eventually, it was just that he had made so many bands, and he had ripped off the Backstreet Boys. But he had made the Backstreet Boys popular because no one gave a damn about them until he brought them to Germany, and he convinced the Germans that they were popular in America. And then Americans thought, well, there must be something to the Backstreet Boys if they're popular in Germany. So they became popular in America. It was this recursive mind control or even just gaslighting kind of thing that he was able to kind of hypnotize people into believing that the Backstreet Boys were cool. And it worked.
Alert.
Yeah,
there's a sync alert here. That's what we should do this as a thing now. Like if there's a synchronicity, we just go sync alert, and then we
sync alert.
Yeah. So literally just yesterday. So yeah, Prof Zhang, his channel's still growing with predictive history and whatnot, and I still watch it. I'm still sucked in because it's. I think it's still really good. But he made a whole section. The whole lecture was about how tight-knit, cohesive, and energetic people, they end up dominating societies all across the world. So he literally mentioned he mentioned Germany being one of the countries that probably is going to eventually overtake Europe, which is like an interesting claim in the context of like the perceptions we have about Germany in the wake of like World War II and everything. But like that's not, it wasn't supposed to be anything philosophical or like well, I guess, yeah, more philosophical than any sort of like political or anything like that. It's just like, well, Germany does have a really tight-knit group of people, just from like things I've observed online. They tend to be very, very close-knit and very, very energetic. So it's like they also are very resourceful. So it's like when you have a combination of correct things, his argument is that, yeah, those types of people end up like running the show or toppling empires, whatever. So that was the synchronicity with Germany. Like, oh, the key to controlling everything was making it popular in Germany. How about that? Very interesting.
I think there is something to that.
I mean, the Germans are, I joke around and I say like fascism is stupid. It doesn't fucking work. And the only ones who were close to making it work were the Germans because they're German, you know?
See, but I don't know, because like in Italy and Spain, they had actual fascism, and then Germany tried it, and now everyone hates it. So I feel like there's a different.
Yeah, because they did it better than everyone else.
Or they did it different though, too. You know,
Yeah.
It's sort of like saying that there's a dance, and then if Germans start doing the dance, they're not going to be doing the dance the right way because they're going to be doing it to the rules too hard, and so it all of a sudden isn't polyrhythmic, and there's something that gets lost in translation with their order kind of thing. They'll never quite be able to be relaxed the same way other cultures are. So fascism should refer to, you know, either the original. Italy. Well, okay, so Italy invented the term to refer to their romanticism of ancient Rome. So there's a lot of layers there. It's not ancient Rome. It's a 19th century romanticization of Rome, of ancient Rome. It's not the real ancient thing. It's your fantasy about it. And who are you? That kind of thing. It's like Hermann Hesse's Siddhartha. It's not Siddhartha, you know? So the fascism isn't that Roman thing, because we would just call that like Roman, or we would even call that democracy, like, or representative democracy. The Senate was. And in the 19th century, things start to change, so that by the 20th century with Mussolini, there's a technocratic fascism, right? Which is this thing that humans have errors, so we're going to start to let the system do as much of it as possible. And then after that, Germany starts using the term corporatism, and also the idea of fascistic is a little different than fascism. It's like they're looking for the idea of fascistic ideology, like something that like is held together or collective or bound or something like that. So they're using the term differently. But it's weird because you're right. People totally think of the Nazis when they say fascism, but the Nazis are really more like corporatists. You know,
syndicalized forces.
Say it again.
Corporatism and fascism are like interchangeable.
See, I just don't know if that's completely true, because corporatism has a lot more to do with your ownership and stake in this corporation. So it's definitely related, but fascism from the Roman perspective, or whatever they were trying to, you know, imagine if you're a kid and you want to make a club based on ancient Rome. Like that's what it was originally. It wasn't as thought out and as correct. They had abstract theoretical ideas about what the organization would be like. And corporatism kind of naturally emerges, and Marxism is a lot closer to corporatism, except for that it has prohibitions about certain ownerships. Certain people can't own certain amounts of the corporation. Everyone has to own at least a certain amount of the corporation. There's like safeguards there, but it's still corporatism. It's just really, you know, careful to not become usurped by a monopoly control, because that's the danger of corporatism, is it becomes a dictatorship. Like that's really what is, in fascism can be a dictatorship, but it doesn't have to be, because ancient Rome had senates. So it wasn't really a dictatorship, right? It was representative democracy.
Well, I mean, Lenin talks about a dictatorship of the proletariat, which is that even really like a dictatorship if it's like numerous people making up that ruler? Like a dictator implies like one individual.
Yeah, I think well, it depends, because a dictatorship can imply that, but it might really have more to do with the populace giving up their authority to to a mechanism that it dictates, to another mechanism that dictates or organizes. So the authority that normally you would have, you trade it to vote in a system. I might think that murder is wrong. I guess let's use the example. So I vote against murder. I could say in my whole life, you know what? I don't care what you think. Murder is wrong. But instead, let's say I don't. Let's say I say, well, I'm going to just do what everyone else says, and I'm going to contribute a vote saying I'm against murder. And then we count up the votes, and then they say we're pro-murder, 51% to 49. Now I have to withdraw my opinion. I have to withdraw my authority to say that I believe murder is wrong, right? So that's how democracy works. And so that is a dictatorship. But it's just a dictatorship where the majority oppress the minority, because the minority no longer has self-determination. So that's the big danger of democracy.
Yeah,
I never agreed to that. Well, they did, so you got to do it.
Right.
But you can't like have different rules for everybody. You know what I mean, I guess you could. That sort of is how we got into this mess. Is like,
you totally could. That's what corporations are. Corporations have their own let's say persons have contracts with each other based on their differences of opinions.
Yeah, it seems to be how things are working. There's so many. I had something. Never mind. Hold on. Let me check out a little bit.
Yeah, it's a weird thought though, because if you have contracts between persons, and states are very similar to persons, corporations are certainly similar to persons.
Yeah, I technically own a company, and that company gets to have its own bank account, gets to have its own credit card. That alone is like, oh, okay, cool. So on top of your own shit, it's like an extra layer of liability, I guess.
Yeah,
right.
Or it insulates you from liability, like trusts or something,
But you can make if you don't make a contract, you can use the Uniform Commercial Code. I mean, you have to really. If you don't have a contract, it's implied that there's a natural contract that's the Uniform Commercial Code, and they've built this system for corporations and persons to make agreements. If you didn't make a written contract, then you have a verbal contract that's based on the Uniform Commercial Code, and it can even be that it's a non-verbal contract. So if you accept the benefits of the contract, then you accept the obligations of the contract. And this is how they can trick people into, you buy something because someone gave you something, and it's just about you've accepted this thing, so now you have to pay for it. And say it again, sorry.
I was saying it's a timeshare.
Yeah, timeshare is also based on the same principle, because if you don't have any sort of normal contract in place for yourself, that's a special circumstance contract, then you have to use the Uniform Commercial Code contract. But I think it makes sense to have specialties for every person. That could totally be a better system where you're able to say what rights you waive or what rights you claim,
because you're this role, and this role can't be walking around without the authority to do certain things or the freedom to do other things.
Well, that's why we have like permits and licenses and certifications.
Yeah, see, but the problem with those things is that a license is the ability to do what you would otherwise not be allowed to do. So what it does is it sets everything as prohibited verboten, and you want to be able to do those things without a license, because then a license requires you to get the permission of the collective, so a dictatorship of the commons. So if the dictatorship of the commons says they don't want you to let's say have paint your house the color you want to, or clean the woods,
or build a plane and fly it.
Yeah, like to reach the heavens, whatever it is, to protect your family or to reach the heavens. If they try to prohibit that, and the only way you can do it is with a license, that's a problem, I think.
Yeah, whenever we get on this type of stuff, it always just makes me think about corporate personhood, and that is going to be the gateway for AI to gain like personhood and legal rights. Because once AI can like own a corporation, then it will be a person.
I mean, in some places they've already given animals rights, like elephants and things have rights to an extent, and animals have certain kinds of protections. I think that should also help. It's not just the corporations, but yeah, corporations are kind of a weird entity. It's a soulless coherence made of consciousness from multiple beings. It's a trip.
Well, I guess the big thing is the question really, the keystone is probably ownership, right? Like, what do you really own? I mean, Andrew mentioned timeshares before, which I thought was pretty funny because it's true. It's like we don't really own anything. It's just our turn to use it. Like that's what I was just playing Arc Raiders. And that's what that taught me. It's like, yeah, I mean, you don't really have anything forever because you're not even around forever. So, like, the concept of ownership is a little janky in that regard.
Right. But you can pass it on. You can kind of dictate who the property goes to, which, so it becomes your family,
Then it becomes
like a corporation.
You basically get to choose whose turn it is next to use the thing.
Yeah, but you get to build. You could theoretically build the person out of your own DNA and someone else's that will be the next continuance of this. It doesn't have to be just some random foundling stranger. So I mean, it could be too.
I mean, yeah, I guess you could say you own your own very unique combination of traits and, spelled out in your DNA. I guess that is something that the individual would. Yeah. Oh, yeah. No. Oh, no. Yeah, you get to buy Xirtus embryos and just give birth to like as many Xirtuses as you want if you just pay the money.
Kurt, what do you think? Do you own anything, or is there anything that you can really own? What is he right? Should we just be leasing everything anyway?
You don't own anything. Your possessions own you. Ooh, what do you think of that?
I guess like you could only really feel good about owning anything once you like used it to so thoroughly it gets destroyed. Like if you use, I don't know, like a coffee mug so much to the point where it just gets stained and eventually shatters, that you could say you completed, your ownership of it. You actually experienced it right up until the end. I think that's why I'm a huge fan of like going down with the ship, so to speak, with certain things, because I'm like, I get to say at least I get to be one of the only people who saw it through from like beginning to end.
You are inseparable from everything. So it's like, yeah, what is the ownership of everything? I think it all belongs to God. Philosophically, it belongs to God, right? So it's hard to really treat anything in a serious nature, I guess. I'm not trying to ramble. I'm just saying, like, what is a possession? Like, this theoretically is my keyboard, and it's a possession, right? It helps me. It's not helping me much right now because I'm just jabbering with my jaws. What do I own my jaws too? If you slice off my hands, are they still my hands? Well, maybe theoretically, chances are if my hands get sliced off and I don't have a great doctor, they'll just get buried somewhere. They're no longer my hands, quote unquote, right? Yeah. Or we're getting into the ship of Theseus here, I guess. But
I think this is why rich people, like, sometimes they act the way they do, because it's true. Like, once you have like all this shit you thought you wanted, what's next? It's experiences. Because when it comes to like memories, it is possible to have complete ownership of a memory. I think like Blood Meridian kind of alluded to that, where Judge Holden would like sketch out a piece of ancient armor and just destroy it, or like destroy all witnesses of an event, or like erase them, because then he is in full ownership of that memory of the events that transpired. So I think memories could be interesting, an interesting thing. But I don't know, maybe like Andreas said, like for now, like maybe technology will be able to literally extract memories.
I think your own memories are a great metaphor for a synapse in the human brain. Really, it's just like, yeah, all of us have this unique experience, but like the goal of that experience is just to like reconnect with that outer cerebrum. It's like it's all just getting sent back and being communicated with something else. And so, yeah, that's where it's like we're the end. You can think of people as an individual, and there's an element of truth there, but there's also a lot of simultaneous things that feel like they're philosophically contradictory, but they're simultaneously true. And I think that's under the Western, under the Western mode of thought, we are trained not to think that way. We're treated to think very categorically of things. So like one thing negates another, but I think that's just fundamentally not the reality that we exist in. You know, it's like everything is just so overlapping, and everything is just so overlapping at all times that it's impossible to separate one thing from the other. So at the same time, you do have the individual experience, but none of us are individuals. And so when we say those words, it can get so easily politicized, but anything political is supposed to capture something momentary, a momentary battle that's going on just between other humans with very shallow, I would say, shallow sorts of wars that are going, or psychological wars, but those aren't the grand scheme of things. So it's always easier when you're able to talk about philosophy if it doesn't have any sort of underpinnings behind the wider political sphere that we exist in. But yeah, in that sense, politics are annoying, I guess.
Yeah, I agree.
I don't believe necessarily in ownership either, but at the same time, you do have a certain amount of control over something, which is why there's a different value associated with ownership than, let's say, 100-year lease. You know, 100-year lease is often how corporations have been buying chunks of countries to do their labor or to move their workers. China has bought like chunks of Ontario, right, for 100 years. I think even parts of the United States originally. So these long-term leases are different somehow, even though they're a lifetime, you know, compared to ownership where you can trade this or give it to another person and then they can control it. So there's definitely still, to me, it seems like there's some kind of a difference, even though you can't fully utilize it, right?
Yeah, it's abstraction. It's pretty much just like abstracted ownership at that point. Yeah, I mean, because we do this all the time with like, say, owning like intangible, non-physical assets now, right?
Mhm.
Like you could literally own something that does not exist in the physical world, and it could be worth a lot of fucking money. Even like something as a Facebook account, you know, technically we don't own it because at any given time, Facebook or any social media platform, they could just kick us off, and we would feel like we're at a loss of something. Meanwhile, that something isn't really a physical asset. It's not land. It's not cash. You can't eat it. And it's still going to really hinder the way you operate in the modern world. So yeah, I think it's just leaning more towards the abstraction of things, which kind of can reinforce the illusion of ownership. It's like, yeah, of course I can own it. Prove that I can't. You can't even hold it. It's in my heart.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like you won't be able to leave your Steam library or your iTunes music library to your kids, you know?
Yeah.
I saw some guy on TikTok talking about how the economy is basically one giant game of like keep away or keepy uppy, where they're like bouncing a ball over our heads that we can't reach, and their only goal is to just like keep us from getting our hands on the ball.
You're just hopping up, trying to grab it.
Like, let's see how big we can make the ball while also keeping it away from them.
That seems like a kind of positive metaphor, though, because that means that they're getting bigger and we're getting bigger and the economy's getting bigger.
Yeah.
It's like a carrot that leads a donkey forward.
What you're saying is all our boats are rising together. That's great news.
Well, but spoiler alert, the tide is bottom. It's like the more people that die, the closer you'll get because you'll be able to stand on top of them.
We do stand on the shoulders of giants. It's true.
It's true. Yeah. It's a beautiful thing.
We'll be in the NBA in no time, economically speaking.
Well, there's that book, The Master and the Margarita. Have you familiarity? It's the Mikhail Bulgakov's novel. He wrote it once and was arrested for it in the Soviet Union and was put in a gulag and it was destroyed. So he had to write it again over the next 20 years or something in the gulag on like butcher paper or something. And he got it out eventually and it became a very famous book. And it's
Cool.
it's about like the devil or like death or both. I guess it's the devil. And he meets these two atheist scientist, science believing
Men,
scientific atheist comrades, right?
men of
So being
science.
yeah, men of science. And he's just saying, oh, it's interesting that you guys really believe that there's no God. That's interesting. And that you believe that, you know, man has his own control over his destiny, even though you can't, because you will die. You could die at any moment. And you're not going to, you know, let's meet in 1,000 years. 1,000 years is such a short period of time. But you can't do it because you'll be dead. Right. So how could you say you control your destiny when you can't even control that you'll be alive in 1,000 years?
Well, that would make me believe in at least the devil.
Yeah, I think he even does a trolley problem. It's a pretty good book.
I've always wondered about like books that just can't be turned into movies, or that can be.
There's a Russian series, but at that point you still have to read it. So I would say,
yeah,
just do it. You know, yeah.
I like Russians a lot. I like Russian culture. Well, I don't know about their culture, actually. I've never lived it, but all of like the actual Russians, not Moldovan, not from any of the satellite states, but like an actual Russian, which are pretty rare. I mean, in my life, at least, like I usually meet Ukrainians and never, like hardly ever actual Russians.
Yeah.
Have you seen the giant, like 8-foot or 8-story snowdrifts that are happening out in Russia?
Oh yeah, actually, right? Like people just skiing out their windows down this. Yeah, let me find that to show. Russia snow.
A lot of people were like, "Oh, that's AI. That's AI." And then,
no,
that's just it's weather and physics for you.
Yeah, it went pretty hard. Like here, this one right here, this building, all the way up above the building, like this ice cliff that's swallowing Russia. This is terrifying because you can imagine an entire city just being swallowed by ice. It's like pretty scary. You can't get out.
That's a sick movie idea, like a whole city just buried in snow.
Where's the one I saw that was so good? Like sledding. I don't know, or like top story building. I saw literally people ski like sledding out the top stories of their buildings, but I can't find the picture now. I don't know. It was crazy.
We're about to get some really bad weather here in the Midwest.
Yeah, elaborate. Look how this is pretty bad. Look at that.
They're saying it's going to be some kind of snowmageddon for like how much is hitting New York? I know that like you're getting like the tail end of it.
Oh, in New York, it's fine. It's just really cold, like below freezing almost, but everything's it's typical New York winter shit.
Yeah, the weekend we're gonna get hit with tons of snow. They're saying like 8 inches, and then next week it drops down to single digits Fahrenheit.
Damn. I would hate to own an electric vehicle in that weather.
Yeah, there's a lot of. We got a Tesla dealership out here. So.
Oh, really? Especially with those winters, damn.
But you know, at least the Cybertruck won't rust.
Yeah, I was seeing some crazy reels of dudes just like flying through snowstorms on the self-driving mode in a Tesla. I'm like, that's vaguely terrifying if I was sitting in that thing.
I mean, as long as they got decent tires, it's a heavy car, 4-wheel drive, like the good ones are. So maybe, I don't know. Yeah. Hear a lot of stories about people getting stranded because the cold weather just saps their battery.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's a weird time for there to be a Minnesota civil war. Like when it's already a cold place, just imagining ice in Minnesota during like negative Fahrenheit.
Oh, you know what I've been thinking a lot about is the law of attraction and how we're all this ice in the regions that ice is operating. And it's like all this talk about ice being in these places it's making ice in these places.
We're like, summoning it.
Yeah.
That's good. I was thinking of the law of attraction yesterday, so That tracks because we're attracted to the law of attraction.
Ice.
Maybe we're doing that on purpose. Yeah, like a symbol.
Yeah, it's like, who needs a weather control machine when you can just control the weather machine inside everyone's head?
I'm surprised there's no like ridiculous internet trends like, oh, in solidarity, we're just never going to use ice for our beverages.
No.
Like, no ice. It's like, you know, drinking white milk, like gallons of it. It's like, just no ice with my beverage, please.
I've noticed like in Europe, and you know, Germans don't drink ice with almost any drink ever. It's weird. They like think it's unhealthy.
It's not optimal.
Yeah. Like they want your body to not have to use energy to change the temperature of the fluids you ingest.
They literally name their beers after what they should be used for. This is the Optimator and this is the Celebrator. And they're both very good.
I don't know. That's the other thing. German beers, I don't want to offend people, but there's just a lot of, they're very close to the same thing because they have all the same, they have these rules about what kinds of things you can do to your beer. And that's kind of a bummer, you know, right? Like, because then you don't have any change between your beers. So you have the IPAs in America and California and the Pacific Northwest are way stronger and more interesting than a lot of the German beers. But obviously Germans have really good beer. I'm not trying to offend them. I'm just
and
saying.
the food, you know, the food and the beers and the schnapps and it's all good shit.
Yeah. And the women, right? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I would love a German wife. That would be awesome. Like her robotic autistic nature would balance me out like really well.
I don't know. A Korean one seems pretty cool. Like, unless they like abuse you. I've heard that too. I had a friend who had a Korean wife, and he said it was really hard.
I mean, yeah, they're a bit temperamental and they have really high standards for the most part, I think.
Yeah, you don't want to be traumatized, I guess, and forced to work all the time, which seems like a Korean mode, you know, I guess.
Yeah.
Work. But so is it in Germany, I guess so.
But you know, the Koreans aren't like that out in California. Like they seem a lot more laid back and chill. Almost some of them act kind of black, you know. They say the N-word. That's the only reason why I said black, because like they literally just say the N-word. I'm like, oh, I guess you guys are allowed to do that out there.
You guys saw that Nick Shirley kid who did the interviews or exposure of Minnesota fraud. He's a Mormon, right?
Really? Nick Shirley's a Mormon?
Yeah. Isn't that crazy? Yeah, it's pretty good. But he recently had a thing go on with Andrew Callahan, the guy who interviewed Hunter Biden. Did you see that whole thing, man? So weird.
Yeah, that was a pretty crazy interview. I liked it.
Well, no. So what happened was he apparently talked to the guy for like 2 hours, and then the interview was cut down to about an hour. So he's like, where did all of the interview go? And then he realized that Andrew had cut the interview up in a weird way that made him look like, you know, he was saying things he wasn't saying, basically, to make him look like an idiot and to kind of turn things around a bit for the left to look like the left were, you know, kind of a more moderate approach, that the left would enjoy the interview more or something. So it was super weird how he cut it up. And then Andrew Callahan kind of like went at him and started telling his side of it, which was that.
Wait, I'm sorry. Can I see the project file again? Of the cuts and the edits?
Where do I go for that? What do you mean?
I don't know. I just saw like a quick shot of it. It was, because you're right. It was cut the fuck up. You know, like.
Yeah. Let me see here. I think the earlier video.
Nah, you were just flipping through the video. It's basically just a shot of like the editing software, and that kind of betrayed like all the cuts they did.
Yeah. Okay. Hold on. Let me go here. I'll go back.
Interesting.
Yeah, I'll zoom in a bit. Maybe it's easier to see. Like right here, Channel 5's video, 1 hour and 5 minutes and 56 seconds, right? And then he showed the original 2.5 hour video right here. So you can see it. He cut like 90 minutes out of this interview. It's like actually shorter than half of the interview. And he has the actual scenes from his own cut of it. That's what that 2.5 hour video was, is he actually recorded himself talking. So he has a cut of what really went on. So it's kind of crazy because Andrew Callahan is kind of known to be, you know, relatively an objective journalist or something. And he really kind of outed himself as being a shill, which is a bummer because, you know, now
I feel like
no one will ever
there's
take him seriously.
I feel like with shilling of this nature nowadays, it's probably like there's so many degrees of separation. I wouldn't be surprised if someone's paying someone who paid someone who paid someone to pay Andrew Callahan to kind of like spin a certain lean or narrative if they're gonna,
Sure.
do that sort of thing, you know?
Well, he did the Hunter Biden interview. So, you know, clearly there's some question there to his I don't know. I don't want to say it, to his honor, I guess. You know, if he's working with Hunter Biden and trying to make Hunter Biden look cool for doing crack, you know, he's basically romanticizing Hunter Biden. He's making romanticist propaganda about Hunter Biden.
Because everyone thinks like Hunter Biden's a cool guy now.
I mean, I think a lot of people did when they saw that. They're like, oh, cool, he does crack. Why are we hating on him? What are we, like the Republicans, like our parents? No. I think a lot of people like Hunter Biden, and they think at very least he quit doing drugs, or they relate to the fact that he loves crack. You know, I think that's kind of the point.
Yeah.
I don't know. What do you think, Kirk? Do you like Hunter Biden? I kind of did after that interview. I'll admit it.
Didn't watch any interview, and I try not to form too many opinions about people I haven't met in real life. Although Andreas counts as one of those people. Yeah,
he like talks about how much crack is the most beautiful, amazing thing he's ever done, and how it made him feel so good all the time. He like love. It's like the coolest interview. It's like that movie with Johnny Depp about blow, right? It's like that. Like it's just the whole thing, his passion for it, right?
What was it, the crack or all the lovely women he had afterwards? You know that totally were just there voluntarily.
And we're using the word woman kind of generally here for females, whatever age. I think.
Is crack aesthetic, or is like the only appeal behind it was how much faster you could convert that shit into money? Because I think cocaine could be pretty decadent, right? You know, you're with your rich friends at rich parties, sniffing lines and shit. Whereas crack is
here's the thing.
Euphoria.
Crack works better at doing the cocaine thing. It's just stigmatized because of propaganda.
Class. It's class prejudice. That's what it is.
But it's like crack is more expensive by weight, mostly because it works better. But it's like the way that cocaine works is oxytocin overload. So of course he loves crack. Everybody who fucking smokes crack loves crack, literally. Like it's a chemical fucking.
That's what it does. It makes you have love in your heart. It's euphoria, bro.
Whereas when you're closer to the source, you're like, I don't want to sit there chewing on fucking coca leaves, or eventually turns into, I don't want to sit there deviating my septum, and then it eventually turns into, oh yeah, I don't want to rot my teeth. Just give me like
you're
crack
never
props.
gonna feel like you're on crack from chewing on coca leaves. You know, that's not
true.
It's just you're never gonna get there. So
that's true. That's a good point.
It's like 1,000 coca leaves to make less than a gram of cocaine, and
just chewing on 1,000 coca leaves.
Yeah. To make like less than a gram of cocaine, and then that's not. I think what is it, like an 8-gram conversion to get like what? Andrew, when was the last time you freebased crack cocaine?
I've never, for the longest time, I thought that I was stealing crack from my dealer, but it was actually meth. So I've never smoked.
Whoops.
Crack. I mean, what can I say about? I don't know. I mean, I think a lot of it has to do with peer influence. Like when you grow up in an environment where everyone's smoking crack, first of all, it's going to take down one barrier where you're not going to be thinking, who the fuck smokes crack? Because in your head, you're thinking a lot of people smoke crack. And then it gets offered to you and you're like, well, life isn't that good right now. And what else do I have to lose? So I'm going to smoke some crack.
Dude, and that band, Choking Victim, Leftover Crack. It's a great band.
It's a great joke.
But yeah, so I feel like this interview is kind of crazy. People should actually look into the fight going on, and his response was really crap. It made Andrew Callahan look like a total shill, and made Nick Shirley look like pretty rad. I was pretty impressed with how he handled it. But yeah, they just basically didn't like the way he talked, so they cut out parts of it to try to make it look better. Or that's their excuse, because really they just made him look like he's insane and tried to make Andrew Callahan look better. And it looks like that's what they do, is they cut out things Andrew Callahan says so that he looks like he's saying less and he's just interviewing people. But now you have to go back and watch his interviews and wonder how much of this was him saying stuff that he didn't cut out and then just record, and just his list. That way he makes them comfortable to say things. And then he's exposing them, because that's all he does is do sensationalist journalism. So
yeah, leading the witness, as they would say in court, but it's not a courtroom. He's just doing street interviews and being deceptive about, whether or not people are prompted to express one opinion or another.
yeah, dude, Channel 5.
The power of editing.
There's this new the block who's kind of like assumed the throne of Channel 5 by taking it to a new level. It's the no cap on God, for real. He does like a different character for each event that he goes to. So it's as much like parody, or I don't know, what's that called, where it's parody as it is sort of street interview. I think he did like a fashion show. He's done a bunch of different political rallies. Yep, that's him right there.
Did Burning Man. I think Burning Man was the funniest. That's just me personally.
Yeah, that's the one that really broke him.
He's like, I'm going to drink my urine, and it's going to fill me with all the energies that have been throughout this festival.
Yo, Burning Man is fucking crazy. It's kind of gross. Like, I knew this girl, NYU girl. She literally said she went there with no money, and her whole thing was, I'm giving up my body for whatever. Like, if I, I'll trade you sex for food. And I'm like, that doesn't sound safe. I hope you guys like use the condom. I don't know, diaphragm or whatever.
That's how I learned.
Muted, Andreas.
Burning Man. They have an orgy tent, right? And so it's like, literally, if any incel wants to get laid, they probably just, have to be fit and go to Burning Man. That's just like my hypothesis. I don't know if that actually, probably, like, yeah, that's just a place. Everybody's like, high on the, they're high on more than just drugs. They're high on being probably a little bit up their own ass.
Uninhibited.
But, yeah, it's looks very, very uninhibited. And you look at what people are wearing, like, how could you go to that environment and just like not get laid? But like, then there's the aspect of like, there's a lot more to life than just getting laid. If you treat something as a category, it loses its like spiritual meaning too. This guy's actually kind of cool. When he interviews this guy, I would totally buy that dude a beer, but like, it still makes the interview a lot better.
Yeah, I mean, I guess the billionaires going to Burning Man kind of screws it up, because it used to be a bunch of tech people experimenting with new tech. It was about setting up a camp, setting up a system with a generator and a router and a solar panel and, whatever, these soldering irons. And it was cool. It wasn't like just,
it was like a hacker thing too.
Yeah, it was like a hacker fest. And the trust fund kids is kind of a bummer, I'll admit.
The Silicon Valley crowd.
I haven't gone since.
That's one thing he says. He like starts out the video with like, "Hey, bro, how big's your trust fund? Is it big?" And he's like, "Yeah, it's pretty big."
Oh my god,
it's a very excellent troll. This guy is top tier, probably the best internet troll I would say since Filthy Frank was doing it. Very, very good,
dude. All right, I'll give him a shot. No cap on God. Yeah. Burning Man was cool though. I mean, the long before times when I was young, it was like
I don't think I could ever go to Burning Man. Like because FBI literally showed up at my house because of a post I made about Burning Man. So I don't think it's a good. Yeah, I was like an admin of this pretty large Facebook group, and I just as a joke, I was like, "Here's an idea. What if we planned and coordinated a domestic terrorist attack on the next Burning Man festival?"
Oh no! Why would you?
Yeah, and I just explained to the FBI. I was like, "Oh, it was a joke, guys." And they were like, could we come into your house? I'm like, no, we could talk outside here.
Oh my god. Yeah, I mean, Burning Man's already kind of a mind control thing at this point, but it was, yeah, cool techno hackers fest kind of place. 2007, it was even still kind of like that, but it was weird by that point because when I went there, in years prior to that, it was, more like free flow and really, really cool. It was really cool. 2007 was probably the last okay year, I would say. It was like the Green Man, and Al Gore was there, and I was working with his current TV thing, which was like a video recording. So they had this huge tent that was filled with air filters, and they had Mac G5s, I think it was still at the time, or something like that, like super Mac computers and all of these big monitors. And it was just this weird thing because they had this editing station there, and they were trying to film all of the thing to make like a TV documentary on what Burning Man was about that year, which was really weird, just like all the footage that was being collected about it. And we kept waiting for Al Gore, and then Al Gore finally showed up just for the burning of the man and left after that. Like, who flies into Burning Man just to watch the ritual? Well, apparently some of the billionaires do, which is pretty weird if you think about it. Like, but I
That is
feel like
very weird.
2012 was the fertility theme, and that was probably the last. I didn't go after that. That was the last time I went, and it's just kind of, yeah. It seemed like it was just lots of rich people with their RVs all of a sudden, which is not the way it used to be before that, and so that's fine. But
That's pretty
what
smart,
really,
though.
yeah, yeah. But there's like
Oh,
still outside of Burning Man, there's other camps that people who used to go to Burning Man put on at like Pyramid Lake and things, which is like Free Man. So
oh yeah,
So,
burner parties they call them. We have
Yeah.
those in the East Coast.
but both Andreas and I, we've seen the film Y tu mamá también, and
true.
yeah. So all right, so I think there are some parallels here. So like I've rewatched that movie honestly probably like 5 times, and because it's good practice. But honestly, it's a really really good movie. Like it's hard to find movies that are just like that, like have their own like pure essence of it. Like
Have you
I
seen
don't
The
know.
Dreamers? About
Hold
the
on, hold on,
kid?
hold on. All right.
Yeah.
Well, all right. So, like, a real big message about the movie. The movie says a lot about Mexico at that time and Mexico today, and like what was going on economically. The 2 kids that are involved, that are the main characters of the movie, they're supposedly supposed to be really good best friends forever. Those types of vibes, and it turns out like they're supposed to be best friends, but behind each other's backs, they're in completely different economic classes. And so when Tenoch goes over to his friend's house, like he lifts up the toilet seat like with his foot. He's secretly like kind of disgusted by his lifestyle, but like they stay faced for each other all the more. And this is something that's explained by the narrator. So I thought of that like in Burning Man, like say you just like go to Burning Man and you get laid by somebody. Well, it could be just like, what's the price of fun just for 5 seconds? It's like it doesn't mean you're building like true good relationships with people, and like you all these all these trust fund hoes. It's like there's something illusory about the nature of a lot of things, and that can be true with like human relationships too. So you could come away with this empty feeling of like I was with this person, but it turns out they completely see me as like classless, or like I'm an outsider, and it's due to factors that are totally outside of your control, which was the point. So yeah, both a compliment to the movie, but a connection to like what we were talking about with Burning Man and how it might be ruined now. I've never been, but it makes sense. Money can ruin a lot of things.
It's just the incentive to do things was different. It wasn't that's why I was saying it was because the reasons people are going to party and have, sex, like you're saying, or do drugs or whatever, it progresses from that to the other. And it started out more as a place that was for experimentation. So I think it was, and I'm not saying it was like glorious because obviously it's a satanic ritual or some sort of occult ritual, like a cremation of care, but it was different. At least it was a little bit more invested in transitionary magic. You're changing the world, you're destroying the past, you're sacrificing your purity, right? Like Wicker Man, is about sacrificing a virgin Christian in order to have a better crop. So Burning Man, because you don't really have any virgin Christians to sacrifice, you're sacrificing the pure part of everyone that is there, which is their art. So if you don't have any more pure parts of you to sacrifice, then the ritual breaks. I guess that's kind of the problem.
Also, everything did kind of transition, like all the meaningful interactions transitioned online to the point where, you know, whether they're doing it for money or whether they're doing it for the experience, it's like people will go to festivals and parties just so they could get content so that they could post on TikTok or stream on Twitch.
Yeah,
That didn't exist before. You couldn't record anything, you know.
that was
Yeah.
like Instagram. People weren't going just to like post that they were there.
Yeah, you couldn't do that before. Like up until the iPhone was 2007. So I think that's really also that started to change things. But even if you had camcorders and stuff, you weren't allowed to post any of that footage before. So people were mentioning Burning Man. Like it's weird now if you go back and you watch like Buffy the Vampire Slayer, he mentions Burning Man. Like the computer teacher in the second season, I think it is, mentions that she just went to Burning Man. And there's a number of examples like that where it's seeding in pop culture that people are hearing about Burning Man and then they're starting to go to it. But you couldn't show people.
Well, another thing was back in the day, people were still reading magazines. And I remember like a lot of like writers were writing about Burning Man, like a lot of magazines. As a kid, I was just like flipping through shit at offices and waiting rooms and stuff. That's how I first heard about Burning Man, was in a magazine.
Yeah, I remember
Miss
seeing
magazines. Those are cool. Now they're all internet zines.
Forbes magazine referred to Burning Man as the Bohemian Grove of the next generation
Ooh.
in 1999.
Nice.
There's this movie I was thinking you should see, Kurt. Have you seen The Dreamers by Bernardo Bertolucci? It's about an American.
No, I haven't seen it.
It's about an American kid who like moves in with these two brother and sister twins in Paris during the student revolutions in the 60s.
It's always France.
Well, because he was watching Imama Tu Tambien, which is a Mexican movie, but kind of has a similar vibe, I feel like, and is an interesting story. I think you would like that one.
Yeah, I think I had my fill recently since I saw this Gaspar Noé movie. I think where the kid is like playing a film student, and I was like, I get it, but this is like really dense for me right now. And I was just trying to like chill and whatever, but it was pretty intense.
What was that show movie I saw recently? You know, the one about the dude who was winning the lottery, Jerry and Marge Go Large, with the Breaking Bad guy.
No.
Oh yeah, they like hacked the lottery system. They like, if you buy this many tickets, you're guaranteed to win this percentage, and yada yada yada.
Totally, yeah. If you buy one ticket, you're unlikely to win anything. But if you buy $30,000 to $70,000 worth of tickets, you know, you're guaranteed to win more than you lose. And so obviously most people wouldn't do that. The only people who would do that would have to be probably trying to wash their money, you know, maybe some like mafia people. This is probably like some system that existed, who knows, for like washing money. But
Yeah.
This mathematician or this manager from Kellogg or whatever it was, he figured this out. Apparently it's a true story. And he started a corporation that bought lottery tickets and won every time because they bought enough lottery tickets to make sure that they won every time.
It's incredible. You know, Mr. Beast came up with this like idea once. He was like, yeah, if I had to start a new YouTube channel, I would just call it, I play scratch off every day until I win. It's literally just, that was his idea. And I thought about it and I was like, damn, it's pretty spicy. Because like, if you imagine following this guy on YouTube every day, I'm sure someone's done it too, like after they heard that. But yeah, imagine just watching him lose day after day after day after day. And then one day he hits it and you're like, what the fuck?
I was there and I was with you when it happened. Yeah, that'd be cool. Wow.
Yeah, it's a great
like,
idea.
That actually makes the lottery not lame because
Mhm.
it's such a horrible waste of money that you're always losing and there's no point to it and people do it their whole lives without winning. But as a YouTube channel, it becomes an investment.
Yep.
and it's like people pay. You could be tax write-off or something.
Yeah.
For the point of your show.
Also, people like do like booster pack openings on YouTube, and that's like all they do on stream or YouTube. I always thought those were like pretty funny. The fact that people get hooked on that shit, they're like, yo, like one of my friends streams and he's like, he stepped away from the mic and everyone in the chat was like flipping out. They're like, bro, you're supposed to open the booster packs, bro, booster packs. I was like, Jesus Christ. It's like just watching it is like crap.
Booster packs. Yeah. Yeah.
He puts on the gloves. He puts on the gloves and then he opens it on camera.
That's a good series for AI. Just like opening presents Christmas morning. Just make that. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah.
Oh.
Because like I've seen like 8-hour YouTube videos with no sound and it's literally just a painting. So it is like decorate your TV. I was like, holy, it had like millions of views. I was like, this fucking asshole figured out this shit.
Dude, have you ever played Wario World?
I've seen it played.
Yeah, so like I don't really understand like the point of Wario. Like, who is Wario to you? Because I just saw this game and I just didn't understand it before, but it looked like a lot of fun because he's this like evil guy who's like, I hope you have a rotten day. He seemed way more relatable than Mario, you know?
Yeah. Wario did come out as like an anti-hero figure and less of a villain, I think.
That's the thing. Yeah, he's like really exactly. He's the relatable, curmudgeon-y, instead of being this nice guy, he's just true.
I know he was fucking annoying to play as in Super Smash Brothers Brawl. God damn it, with that fucking motorcycle.
Oh, it's terrible. I don't know.
Yeah, we should all start gambling and use prediction markets like Kalshi. Just bet on things, make money that way.
Yeah, I was betting on like the weather on Kalshi. I made like a little bit of money, but I'm still under on. I lost I lost like $5 or $7 on the conformity gate thing.
Jesus, betting on the weather doesn't seem like exactly the most probable one, right?
Well, I mean, it might take over everything. Like, imagine, like, instead of going to the grocery store to buy milk, it's like I'm just gonna go on my app and bet $15 that milk won't show up in front of my door. Someone sees the bet, goes buys milk, and then they fucking place it on your door. Collect. I mean, that could be
$7 made. Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, I could see that happening, and I think it's stupid because it's probably so easy to game the system. Like, oh, I bet $10,000 that Chris is going to get mugged and just have one of my friends fucking mug me. I don't know.
I'm not sure how people submit what is qualified to get bet on because they just started this professional skateboarding league thing, and I've just been waiting for opportunity to be able to bet on it just because it's something that I care about. I don't want to get into it. Like, I could like get into like traditional American sports or whatever and bet on that, but I don't
Fuck
know.
that. No, what you want to do is you want to get on Twitch TV and then like find like some funny ass streamers and be like, oh, I bet like, you know, whatever, that they're gonna fucking flip, they're gonna crash out in the next 15 minutes. And I think that's a really fun form of Kalshi betting.
Yeah,
or it's like people watching the stream, it's like, I bet $15 that Chris is gonna say first of all, you know, they could probably win.
That's where maybe we need to start harnessing that.
Yeah.
Betting in the show. Did Trump really reach a deal on Greenland? Are we getting Greenland, bros? Is this happening?
he was flying to Switzerland, then his plane turned around, so I'm not sure what happened with all that.
They said a minor electrical issue. But all right, so we might have talked about this a little bit last week, didn't we?
Yes.
What, Greenland?
We talked about Greenland, but like
yeah, it's been in the news for a minute.
Deja vu, but it's going to be interesting to see what happens in the short term. I guess the long term is just like there's too much financial pressure. I guess like they're going to try to use soft power to overtake the region, because like there's like 600 million. Greenland exists on like a $600 million subsidy from Denmark. And of course, like the USA can just like triple that and like say up like whatever, this is nothing to us, and then like you can coerce their citizens to take a vote on it in that direction. But Like it looks like Trump is like, oh, let's move on this now, and it's hard to know if this like his outlandishness on it is more of a political maneuver, just to distract from other bull crap that's going on. Which there's a lot of, I guess you could say, geopolitical events going on in the world. So maybe there's that, but Europe is probably going to do the whole rinse and repeat method of condemning the action while being powerless to actually do anything about it, because the European Union just does not have a lot of relative military power. And so you combine that with the fact that we've been trying to pressure Denmark to bolster their military presence. Well, that's kind of a bully move. Like, we know that they can't provide any sort of adequate military presence. I'm not saying this while being pro empire or anything, that I'm just trying to say what's the rational next step of what things are going to be. So from my information that I've received, it seems like Greenland will be our territory within a decade. And
yeah, it's moving fast.
I'm moving there, dude. I'm gonna be the first American settler in Greenland.
I mean, I think you can probably move to Greenland right now. Like, if you wanted to join Greenland, Greenland's its own nation. Like, it's just part of Denmark until they decide they don't want to be, but they are getting free money from them. So why would they stop being part of a country that gives them free money, basically? But if America were to take them, they would not get this much free money. They get one lump sum and then it stops.
Yeah, but they get more McDonald's and Starbucks and so it works out.
It could happen. It might work out. I don't know.
It works out,
I was trying to see what's going on with nuclear power plants too, because a big part of Greenland is the uranium. So having that energy, are we building more nuclear reactors? And so we saw the Hermes reactor is up now, which is an interesting name, and they're just trying to make as many reactors as possible. So we're moving past that clean energy time into the nuclear atomic age finally.
Yes. Now, if we did have access to unlimited, clean, abundant energy, that leaves our own internal energy then, right? Because if you don't master your own energy, then you're going to destroy yourself with external energy. Andrew wants to say something.
But I saw in multiple sources, again, it's social media, so who knows if it's made up or not. Finland has a, what do you call it? They just developed a remote power grid, a wireless power, energy transmission. Someone feel.
I don't know. I haven't seen this one. I was just in Helsinki. I didn't see this. Finland just fired up the Olkiluoto 3 nuclear reactor today. Well, that was 2 years ago. No. Wireless power claims. Here we go. Claims online about Finland beaming electricity through the air to power city, but they stem from a 2025 University of Helsinki study in science advances. Researchers using ultrasound to create air pathways for 4-centimeter electrical sparks. A clever trick for low energy lab tests.
Wireless air. Oh, sorry, energy.
But not for home or grid power. Not yet, anyway. Okay.
All right, I wasn't sure if we cracked the ether yet or not.
That would be sweet.
I already know the comments are all going to be like, Nikola Tesla did it first.
True. Right?
Has to be. I'll bet Kalshi on that.
And then every time Tesla's name comes up, I always think about the Trump time travel connection. My mind instantly goes there every time. What was it? Was it John Trump or James?
John D. Trump. Yeah. Who looks like Julian Assange. You've seen the picture of him with Assange right next to each other?
I'm getting rightfully clowned in the comments for saying wireless air. That was pretty
wireless
stupid.
Air.
Wireless air.
Yeah, that picture is weird, right?
That's a good picture.
Julian Assange and John D. Trump, they have very similar faces.
He's handsome.
He's handsome. Well, I don't know. I mean, the time traveling Trump stuff is pretty good, but don't you think wouldn't he have done more, or do you think he can't mess with the timeline more than he has, or what? I mean, because it seems kind of
Yeah, I mean, I'm not sure. It's like, is Back to the Future sort of predictive programming, or is it one of those instances Ice seen in these areas where just like talking about something happening makes it happen? We have this Biff Tannen president. Yeah, maybe you can only change so much. Andreas, I believe you brought him up before, but there was a guy who came forward in the early '90s, talked about working.
John Tidor?
No. That's a good time travel. I'm talking about he's a microbiologist who apparently was studying this alien and would have conversation with them, and the alien was like transmitting, like he would like put him in these holograms and like this virtual reality thing. It's like, oh, let me show you all of these equations. Let me show you this memory. And this alien told him about these. He also was talking about Looking Glass. Somehow, him studying this alien was tied into Looking Glass, and he was like clued into some Looking Glass information. And like, I believe you might have brought it up before, but they were talking about how all of the probabilities at some point never make it past a certain event. Like all the probabilities collapse into this thing. So the loser of the game, the only thing that they could do is just like delay the inevitable.
Tenant vibes.
Is it all just?
I mean, it does feel like that's what's going on with Disney predictive programming with Loki as well, and Deadpool, Wolverine, like showing kids the time variance authority and this idea that the multiversal linear time collapses into a nonlinear continuity outside of time. It's kind of controlling it. And then there's something at the center of time that holds the timelines together, but there's an inevitable apocalypse because they cannot reach a perfect stasis because we've already dismantled the system too much. So it's eventually going to fall apart. What's the other movie like that? The Flash, right?
Flashpoint.
The Flash, he's trying to go back in time, and it constantly gets to a point where he can't change the timeline anymore because it's inevitable that he kills his family or people die or something.
Or he tries to save them and then causes a whole bunch of other bad shit to happen in the process.
Yeah, right.
Well, there's that one. What was that James Franco series about saving JFK? 11.
Yo, I started watching that shit. Yeah.
Yeah, have you seen that? You haven't finished it?
No, not yet.
Dude, you should. It's interesting because it's sort of saying that it's a really good thing that the Bush family replaced JFK. Well, kind of, because they want to make it safer. If JFK was the president, then we would have had World War III and had some nuclear disaster. That's kind of what I think. What's his name? Stephen King either believes or whoever is paying him at the CIA to be a ghostwriter.
I'm haunted by that one scene where he's like, first of all, everything tastes better. The food is better. And then when he took the bite of that apple pie, I was so jealous. I was like, fuck, I would love to taste 1960s apple pie.
It's probably pretty good.
Yeah.
But you can get organic apple pie. Like, that's the thing. Billionaires, they've still got all the organic things. They just are making sure that the normal people can't have that stuff. They're living off of chemicals and,
I've always wondered if you could, like, if there's experiments being run of just like raising people completely enmeshed as if it's still like the 1960s, still using the same technology, watching the same programs, or the 70s or the 80s. Like, they just kept in an underground vault, simulating a whole different decade their whole life.
Have you seen The Experts, the Canadian movie about the Russian secret town?
No, that's what is it? Is it about something similar?
Yeah, it's a John Travolta movie too. It's this guy, 1989. Basically, they get these two dudes from either New York City or Toronto. I forget the deal, what they're supposed to. They're pretending to be from New York when they're clearly from Canada or whatever. But then they say that they need to check out this town, and the town is a perfect American 1950s town because they never updated it. It's
That's
like
awesome.
The Russians were building a spy town, and they needed American trained spies, but they just never changed the town program. So everyone it's like Nebraska. So they have to go try to get some Americans to update it, to tell them what they need to do to make it more like 1989, 1990s. And they don't know that they're in a Russian town. They think they're in like just Nebraska or something. It's pretty good. You should watch
This is higher concept than Truman Show, I think.
Yeah, it's definitely kind of the same vibe though, but I like it better in some ways.
Yeah.
Because they're like not only liberating everyone, they're showing them what it really means to be American, you know, like capitalism, consumerism, commodification.
That's
great.
fascinating. I gotta see this.
Is that
was
Mary or Pippin?
culture, the yuppie stuff.
What do you say?
Oh, just 89 was sort of like the yuppie culture kind of peaked.
Yeah, totally. And it's like, look what you can accomplish with money, with capital, with debt, with credit, you know?
Yeah, I
Pretty
think there's like YouTube channels that just play the music dedicated to this era. I think it's like Commerce Wave or some shit. Commercial House. Yeah.
Hey, Andreas, have you ever heard of this town in California? It's called Columbia. It's like a gold rush era sort of. It's like a ghost town.
Columbia ghost town. No, I've definitely been to some weird ghost towns in California.
That's what it was called.
Columbia ghost town.
Can APM just take over one of those ghost towns? Be like, hey, this is no one's gonna use this, so we're just gonna stay here until you force us out.
Do it quietly so you get squatters' rights, you know?
But
Yeah.
I'm imagining in however so many years there being these.
Oh yeah. I've seen this.
Oh. Where it's
We gotta
like,
buy some towns like this, yeah.
you could have like a 50s town. I'm sure that'll go over real well with a certain crowd.
China's got that whole thing on lock, bro. There's all these little towns that are every part of the world, every culture. You get the French Quarter, all that.
Yeah.
We should have a game show where people wake up in some place and they have to figure out where they are in the world, you know? Like they don't know, and then they're running around trying to figure it out. And they have a certain amount of time.
Oh yeah, what's that? Geo something or other, where the guy who like guesses where a place is on a map based off of like a Google Earth picture.
Hmm.
There's like a whole like league that people do. It's the whole thing. But it'd be like
Hard
that.
fucking game.
Yeah, that sounds crazy. Geo guessing. What's it
Yeah.
called?
Yeah, that sounds about right.
Whoa. Yeah, GeoGuessr, a game where you get dropped anywhere from a busy street of New York and guess where you are. That seems kind of cool. It's a cool idea. I mean, the world looks so similar now. It's weird. It used to feel so different, and now everywhere feels so much closer to the same.
Because
Dude,
we're
he breaks it down off of like the color of the soil, the types of foliage.
yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like you'd have to look at clouds, maybe like the climate and all that shit.
Oh, anytime he sees trash in the street, he's like, "It's India. It's this area."
I think what it's really showing is that the world is becoming so super small. Like we're just basically like a spitting distance from each other. It's kind of the same effect that astronauts supposedly had, like a spiritual awakening when you look down at Earth from space and you're like, damn, we're all just like the same thing living on this thing.
Insane and Andreas isn't friends with the GeoGuessr guy? Yeah, we need to find the actual YouTube channel for me so I can reach out to him. It sounds like someone I want to know. It's hard to find though, because I don't know his name. Is this it? Maybe this guy?
Yeah, that dude.
Rainbolt. GeoGuessr and Rainbolt, maybe.
I would go with Rainbolt. Yeah, this guy seems like the real deal. No fluff. It's just he's just the love of the game.
Whoa. And he can just tell you where they're from. All right, I'm gonna have to watch some of these. This seems like a pretty interesting channel.
I like that that gag videos where they like speed run everything, like making a song on like FL Studio. It's like, oh my god, he's doing that. He's doing the chord hack. He's doing the chord hack. or like they're like trying to speed run making a purchase on like Alibaba or something. It's like, come on, check out, get to the checkout. You can shave off time. You can shave off 12 seconds.
I just watched that video for the first time in years of the girl doing the stacking cups, man, like the Skrillex video. And it's weird to remember, like that's a 7-second cup stack, but it's a 2-minute video. You know what I mean? Oh my god! Ah! She's like freaking out on every level.
Some of the classics that I've loved was like the longest "Yeah Boy" ever. Like, yeah, boy. I was like, holy shit, this is the longest one ever.
Cup stacking girl. I want to see it again. It's been a minute since I saw it. It's just so weird. I mean, all right. Well, you can hear it, right? The sound's working.
Yes! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my
That's the
gosh!
pop off right there. That's that pop off moment.
Oh my gosh! 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 Oh my gosh!
Yo, do you know why people love this shit?
Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh! Oh my gosh!
It's halfway done.
This is one of the. This is like what I kind of realize about like internet content. It's really about dopamine. Like people do and watch this shit because they get instant dopamine spikes. So if you could generate like whether it's gaming or like your hobby, if you can make those dopamine spikes happen in people, you got it.
Dude.
Have you guys seen that German game show where they have to cut like random food items or just objects in half or as close to in half, and they weigh each side? There's people professional sport.
Dude, while you're looking this up, I just want to mention there's like an American sport where these like these dudes, these blue collar ass big dudes just make their knives. They just walk through the obstacle course just chopping shit up. And I thought that was pretty chill.
I remember that game show about making your own knife. That was cool. I like that one. It was a good idea. Dude, can you measure the difference between these two pretzels? Exact. Oh my god.
That's that dopamine right there, bro.
This is different. This is actually a different hormone, I feel like, than dopamine. I don't know how much
it tingles. Like, it tingles a different tingle.
I feel like it's cortisol. It's like stress. Like, can they actually cut this perfectly?
I forget who developed the new meta, but he balanced the object on the knife.
All right. How close is this going to be?
I feel like we're the Japanese celebrities watching people do weird shit on the talk show. It's like, oh, what up?
Which is like, how do you get the of it inside, you know? But they get close. Yeah, no, it's really, really fascinating stuff, especially when like their techniques deviate from each other.
Jeez.
Ooh.
He sucks.
Yeah.
We're already being mad critical. Like, this guy sucks at this.
It was a tie. They both cut this. Oh wait, no, they didn't. Oh my god. Yeah, that dude was never mind.
Almost there.
Yo, I think we just figured out like the core of brain rot, like what it actually is about. And it's about instilling those chemicals, the dopamine spikes, the cortisol spikes. Like, that's breaking it down into a science. I'm not gonna lie, like when I use prompts for Suno, I specifically incorporate shit like in the lyric writing, like make it completely focused on dopamine spikes in the listener or something, and it obliges. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, I noticed you've been making a lot of cool music lately. That's pretty rad. I was so stoked you got into that.
I was just using at this point, I'm just using it as like my lab, just to kind of push it, just to see how far I can like really take the technology. It's fun.
I mean, you can use it to make stems for your VSTs, so it totally interfaces really well if you want to use it with a DAW or use it kind of as a DAW in a strange way. But
infinite remix potential, like it's crazy.
Dude, I made a bunch of music recently as the Max Rebo band from Star Wars, you know? It's like
a thief.
Are you playing some? We can't hear
I'm
it.
about to steal some
Yeah.
jewels.
you can't hear that? It should be playing from the inside of the. You can't hear that? Really? Am I the only one who can hear this?
Unfortunately,
Comment if you can hear it. I thought.
wait, can Chris hear it? I must not have.
Yeah.
Kuulla laikkain loutokik no chica aiche chica nostaa. Me juice down, me diskika ice, jim jabavicha oltinga. Aba chica na laika oppa biligra wala wanga ranko singa. Conosciuta hatta go glow, no tuta beat in questa. Me know now, dinga swear, abba juice na foccares.
Need you with scoop, balance that grind.
Chica na focca,
Bring it down
chica
now.
na wait.
Nisika wala, I need you scoop, cause
Yeah, I can't believe I
Chica na
only
blame.
no chica na los,
Chica na lost.
chica na los,
Chica na lost.
chica na los.
Now chica na lost.
Yeah, I made like a whole album for the Max Rebo band because they're gonna re-release. They're like making a new Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic. So to celebrate, brought back Max Rebo. You guys know who Max Rebo is? The blue guy,
From Star Wars.
dude. He's so underrated. Like he's like the best. This
it's
Max.
piano.
He's like a weird freaking elephant thing, man. He's
Yo,
got this
I'm-
weird keyboard organ that is like a belt he wears around his waist, like a tutu or something like a.
I'm surprised more people aren't just like trying to capitalize on remixing because like now it's just completely unfettered. So it's like if you know a movie's about to come out that's going to be huge, you could just start pumping out remixes for it before the movie even gets out. Start building hype and shit like that, like video games. You could even like if you're a DJ and you know you don't know how to produce tracks because a lot of DJs are like that. You could literally just now make an entire original set. And if there's one thing AI musically I think could do probably really well, it's probably electronic dance music because it's already very like precise and segmented and structured. So, and it's all about like manipulating and oscillating waves. So it's probably well suited for that. Pro
I
tip
think it's
for
cool to
DJs.
do. Say it again. Pro tip.
For DJs, yeah.
Oh yeah, I think that'd be cool if they did more themes. Like I just like the idea of like theming around the movie or something more than doing a remix. Because there's already going to be like the same song over and over again. It's so hard to listen to one song more than once. There's so many songs now. So shouldn't it just be like a generative kind of vibe instead of the actual remix? You know.
Oh yeah, I mean that's kind of how I mean if I make like I've been making like all these like weird cyberpunkish track synthwave cyber psytrance stuff, and I always like to make it centered around the theme of AI because I feel like it's appropriate. You know, it's pretty much giving this fucking thing a voice, and I'm like, all right, so if you're thinking about the subject of your own experiences, what would you say? And it gives me these lyrics, and I'm like, this is fucking good. Like.
I like the
people
idea
get
of
really
the
good.
alien thing. Like Max Rebo is cool because it's about making music for aliens, which is so
Yeah.
liberating. Because I've made a bunch of music in different styles recently, right? Like I put out like an R&B album and all that, and I did like the Madonna style and the '80s glitter, and I just kind of wanted music that wasn't for humans because screw humans, dude. And aliens, at least, you know, it's like the most liberating idea. If you're making music for aliens, it doesn't have to follow the same rules. You know, it can just be like.
Speaking of aliens making music, have y'all seen the Pharrell Lego movie?
Which Lego movie?
Pharrell's biography. It's done in Lego. It's fucking amazing.
I did not know this was a thing. Lego. Let me look this up. Is this something piece by piece? What? This is like a really officially. Wow. That's amazing. Like what? All right. Is this going to be like a movie, like a full movie? What?
It came out years ago. Yeah, it is a full-length feature biography of / documentary about Pharrell done entirely in Lego.
That's fucking insane.
Dude. Okay.
I can't believe this exists.
I'm listening. All right, I'll watch it.
Snoop
That's
Dogg's in
crazy.
it. What the fuck? Death Row. The Death Row chain. Holy shit.
And they won't even like make reasonable Fortnite Lego characters for adult themes, but they have Snoop Dogg as Legos. Okay.
So is P. Diddy in this?
My God, dude. And they have little Lego
Queen?
mansions,
No Diddy, thankfully. No Diddy.
Lego
Everyone thinks,
lubricants.
like the most questionable person is probably Snoop Dogg.
That's insane.
Is it like really though? Like this is you've seen this and you think we should watch it? You're telling us
Yeah,
it's worth
is
it?
is genuinely a good piece of. It's an amazing piece of cinema. It's
Okay.
Yeah.
I believe you because I saw the Lego Batman movie and I was really impressed. There's actually it's crazy how good the Lego movies are. And as the BoJack Horseman guy is Batman, that was pretty impressive. I have to admit.
Yeah, Pharrell is huge too. Like as a producer, he's worked with literally everybody probably
Yeah.
at this point.
Realize how much Pharrell has done because he's done fucking everything.
So last time I saw Pharrell was because he was at a AI conference in Europe, I think in Switzerland, talking about the future of AI with art. And I was pretty impressed to see of all the people that they could have had to talk about advocating for what they can do with AI. It was Pharrell.
Yeah, right now we just need more people to fuck around with the technology, honestly, because I think that's how you get the most novel things to come out of any new piece of tech like this. You need some idiot like me or
democratized. Yeah. Universal access. Yeah. I mean, of course, then you're just training AI for some purpose. It's bigger
True.
than you, but it's worth it. I don't know. I like the idea of using AI just to destroy the P. Diddy thing, like you were saying. Like the less that we buy P. Diddy's music because we have our own, that's better.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, so most of the comments I've seen were like saying, "Oh, now I could finally just produce hours of my music that I actually want to listen to." And I'm like, that's okay. But I don't know. I mean, if you could do something truly like kind of maybe not even necessarily novel, but something consistent, because like let's say you want to do like a whole vibe, like not just one song, but you want to do this whole like playlist event or something or a DJ set. And, like if you have a very specific vibe that maybe one or two songs you've ever heard that captures it perfectly, what are you going to do? Build a whole DJ set around just two songs? It's like, no, you have to fill it out with like everything else. So this way you could do it very easily.
Do they have a thing in Suno where you can make transitions yet? Because it'd be really cool to make something that fits in between two songs. Like
it's as easy as that. You say, yo, give me like 30 seconds of ambient synth between these two keys. So as a change or whatever. It's that easy.
But like if you could just take like begin it from the last 30 seconds of this song and make it end with the beginning 30 seconds of the next song or something.
Yeah. So if you have a DAW and Suno gives you the stems, you could literally just like keep the song intact, chop off a bit of it, and just loop another part of it to create like an outro, stack it with another song in the same file with the looped beginning part. So you could extend it pretty much if you have the stems, and then just layer it over each other. Simple.
Yeah, but they need like that. There should be like a DJ tool they need to make that literally just makes transitions between songs.
I'm sure they had that way before we even had Suno. Like I saw a lot of DJs like belly aching about it. They're like, "Oh, they're doing our job for us." It's like, yeah, that's been happening with DJs, especially for a while.
Yeah, I mean, Kurt looked like you were about to say something before we got off on the AI topic. I'm sorry.
Oh, wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy.
All right. I mean, do you want to be famous because of, do you think about how much better it would be to replace all famous people? I mean, we should destroy them, and like that's why it's important.
What you said right there, like wake up in the morning feeling like P. Diddy. I think it's a wonderful thing to be able to be P. Diddy without all the human exploitation, right? That's what we're talking about, because that's what P. Diddy essentially did. He just treated these humans as language models. He's like, nah, I don't want it to sound like that, and I want it to sound like this, and I want to have this Mariah Carey vibe for the hook, and that's basically that's how we use Suno essentially. So it's like, yeah, you are kind of like a P. Diddy Pharrell producer guy in a studio with a bunch of like recording artists and slaves to do your shit.
Yeah, I think like over time with music, like we look back in certain eras of music and some of them stand out and we still bring us joy and are great to listen to, and sometimes we have the opposite reaction, like we're weirded out, like, oh, what was going on there? And it's like it feels like there was like a sense of mind control going on, like why why were there 16-year-olds dancing, why were they cranking that Soldier Boy, you know what I mean? It was like you look back at it and you're like, oh, that's I would never listen to this ever again. But I think, you know, that's also true with like the whole P. Diddy movement, is like a lot of that music actually wasn't that good. It was just like it was supposed to perpetuate a vibe, and there's a lot of parallels you can make if you go back and like watch the music videos. Is like, well, what outfits are they having on? Like, of course, it's going to be expensive outfits, but what is the subliminal messaging of the outfit?
If as a production force you had access to so many resources where you could dress up your artist as anything you want, like it really does boil down to, well, why'd they go with that, you know?
Yeah, and like personally, like for a lot of P. Diddy's videos, it'll be full of men, and of course the women will be have really revealing clothing, whatever. But the men, like, they'll have basically no fashion at all. There'll be like it's almost purposeful that there is no statement through what they're wearing. Almost like it seems like an artistic sense of like fascism for what they're wearing, you know what I mean? It's it's definitely you could say, I don't want to
P. Diddy
use
music videos. In P. Diddy music videos, you're saying men don't have interesting fashion? Like, let me see an example.
No, not at all.
Let me see here.
Like he's wearing a sports coat in that one thumbnail. Like, so interesting. All right, so yes, so he has a gold chain, black pants, black shirt. What else? And
those sunglasses, those weird sunglasses that make him look like a Benji puppy, you know, kind of.
Yeah, like a kind of dark Napoleon Dynamite look on his face.
Interesting. So you think? I mean, he's got the leather jacket. Is this really? I feel like there's something here. Is this? I mean, it's the style. It's her style. Is it not?
It's the opposite of style.
The leather jacket and the white shirt. It's a thing, you know. It's
the way you flex wealth without having any sort of meaning behind it, and so it's just the poor. I'll call it pornification. The pornification of just the money, where the money doesn't mean anything. The only statement from the clothing is that I have something expensive on, but there's nothing else you can extrapolate it. So I think it's the blackness represents the black state of the soul, but that's just what I would say.
Let's look at a few more. White Sox jacket, white jacket, suit.
Did you see the P. Diddy documentary on Netflix?
No.
It was really interesting because
I saw the Menendez brothers one instead. But yeah, what happened with that?
It was I thought it was really fascinating because I have experiences working with like a really rich guy who ended up crashing the fuck out and like ruining his life. So P. Diddy, like, it was kind of like the same thing where everyone who was close to him was interviewed and they all said, like, imagine like there's two wolves. Like, one wolf is, you know, just this awful fucking dude, and the other wolf is like this you know, a genuine fun dude. And the thing was, like, in our world, it's the evil one that actually propelled him to success. That's the more he fed into that one, the bigger he seemed to get, the more power he acquired, the more influence he got. I thought that was pretty interesting because it was probably the same with, like, you know, the dude I worked with. Like, I've known him personally as like a good dude, but then the more he got money, the stupider shit he was doing. And I was like, it's a real sickness, you know? I don't know if that happens to everyone with rich. I've only ever, you know, known that one dude.
Generally, I feel like money is pretty bad for people at a certain level.
But it's also like, it's also the way you get it. You know, it's like, there's lots of ways to make some money, but to make like huge fucking life-changing money, I mean, God knows like what you have to do. Sometimes you get lucky, but then does it really last that long if you're not the kind of like if you're not of the mindset to constantly get more and more and more? Because I've heard of people like burn through a fortune like really quickly.
Yeah, I guess that's kind of the thing about like, what do you own and what does it mean to own something? Because you really end up in a place where as long as you're making money that other people get, then you're allowed to exist. But often if you try to stop doing that, and just coast, then everything is taken from you because there's no point in leaving it in your hands anymore because somebody else is doing work that can make more money. So you're losing that power. That seems to happen most of the time.
True. What are things that are more important than money? I don't know. I'd say gratitude is pretty important. Without that, like even money can really fuck you up.
Yeah, I mean, money is just like promises, though, right? Because you have the ability to guarantee some response. It's a contract that says you will do this or I will get that. You know, a certain amount of labor, a certain amount of someone's time. That's the thing about money. So that's why owning something is so valuable because you own someone's time.
It's like fat. You know, it's like you eat enough, and if you're not using those calories right away, it gets stored away as fat. It's supposed to be that way anyway. It's not really how things are. Now it's like pretty toxic, you know, because of the way things are arranged with the Fed and how they could adjust interest rates. And there's the whole money printing involved, which just inflates everything. So yeah, our money's kind of toxic. It's basically like we have economic diabetes as America, and America is pretty much like the least drunk driver in the global economy. So everything is based on Ameribucks, you know, at the end of the day.
Yeah, it's pretty bad here too. I think we love inflation too. It's crazy to look at inflation right now. But yeah, sorry, what were you gonna say, Andrew?
I was gonna say we're who knows how much longer our dollar will be good for.
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to imagine that the dollar's worth like anything compared to what. I mean, it's weird how you look back at prices in your lifetime, and you have to consider it's the same thing that happened to your parents in the 50s, right? Like there were things that were like cents when we were kids, like 19-cent tacos or something that are like $5 now. To go from less than 20 cents to $5 is pretty bad inflation.
Yeah, there used to be an actual dollar menu at McDonald's.
Yeah, right. So money doesn't seem real, but at the same time, you can use it to get people to do stuff, and so that's pretty valuable. That's the most value there is. American Time Machine sends a video. What you got here?
A song played at the end of the movie we were talking about earlier. See if it rings a bell.
See, it's like the Breakfast Club for Mexicans, you know? At least that song. Oh, it's pretty good.
It's weird. That song, it's like you can hear a lot of influence from, we'll say, like 80s American or USA country. But yeah.
That's probably as much as I can get away with. I wonder if I can get away with that, but you know, we'll see.
Just by it. Like, yeah, you can tell with that opening beat. There's some interesting influences there. Sometimes it seems like in other countries, it takes like a couple decades for certain genres to start to blend in. But by the time it's blending in, there's its own thing going on. And so that's it's like I would say a lot of Latin America always had like super over the top romantic artists in ways that the USA never really had. And some of it is like it's really endearing though. Some people don't. It'll be interesting to see if that sort of wave like dies out over the next couple of decades. But I think it still has such a strong foothold with a lot of people. You're still going to have those artists pop up. But that song, it's I think it's real catchy. But it's like if you wouldn't have gone, or like living without you is the greatest pain in my life. If you wouldn't have gone, I wouldn't have all this pain in my heart. I would have to look at the actual lyrics to remember specifically what it translates to, but it's like the most deep, agonizing pain of like, oh, I long for you. And like, that's certainly something you don't really get, I think, out of mainstream music a lot. Like, oh, my heart longs for you. Cause like we treat it as a little bit cheesy now, but maybe there's an aspect to where romance is actually important. And, you know, there's lots of books being written about romance and how romance is dying or feeling a lot of pain at the moment. So I don't know. Sorry, that turned into a bit of a rant. I just really like the song.
You know, Virus, Luna de Miel. This band's really good. Argentinian band.
They have
listen to that.
amazing rock. Like you'll find honestly, like our Argentina does have a lot of pop. Like I would actually listen to. It
Yeah.
doesn't feel quite so plastic. But yeah, like I would. It's weird because like there's a lot of like their TV shows are just so cheesy, and it's like so much of it is just based around what's happening in Buenos Aires, and that's just kind of like where all the production team is. But there's not that many actors, so I can't find that much in Argentinian film that I like. But there's so much depth to their music there that it's really, really impressive.
Yeah, Chile also, and but yeah, in Argentina, if you go to is it the Cordoba, like the rock festival they have there?
Probably a few festivals they have there.
Cosquín Rock, right? Cosquín Rock. Yeah, Cosquín Rock is the coolest rock and roll festival, arguably. It's going to be in 23 days, I guess. That's interesting. But this is the best Argentinian festival. There's a good one in Chile too, but Cosquín Rock is it's like a Woodstock kind of event, and the music's always really amazing rock and roll. Like they can all play guitars and piano and drums, and it's not just all electric, though it looks like there's a lot more electric going on now than when I was there from that video I just saw. I don't know.
I just noticed in the comments someone was talking about Stranger Things. Are you all familiar with what happened with Conformity Gate and everything?
No, what happened with Conformity Gate?
All right,
Everybody said the season sucked.
I've got two takes, and a lot of people are saying that this most recent season was horrible because one of the Duffer Brothers' ex-wife was helping them ghostwrite the first 4 seasons. That's why the characters were so much more fleshed out. There was a bunch of unaddressed plot holes, and a bunch of weird red herrings and clues in merch and even in the episodes where the story isn't like following. There's a bunch of continuity errors, and at the worst, you keep on locking yourself in here, kid. What are you screaming for?
I thought they were teething. I just figured.
Probably maybe a little bit of that too. But she can wail. I think she's gonna be the vocalist of my band when they're big enough. But yeah, so a bunch of people were just waiting. They were decoding these clues. Oh, there's a secret 9th episode, and it's gonna come out now, and it's gonna come out.
Really, this is like on The Guardian. People are talking about it. Wow.
Oh yeah.
In recent days, my 14-year-old daughter has become exhibiting signs of becoming a conspiracy theorist, believing in a 9th secret episode of Stranger Things. Really?
People were going through legit psychosis, but it's because they weren't. And when the documentary came out, we all discovered that they hadn't finished writing even the last episode before the time that they started filming it. And what you could see on their computer, they have Chat GPT windows on their Chrome. So people are using AI to write some of the episodes. And at the very worst, I think Netflix played into the Conformity Gate narrative and was trolling purely for profit, because like a lot of the red herrings were in the merch. So I think at the very worst, what they're doing is like trying to sell more. It's like, oh, well, you'll be able to decode these things if you buy this thing, and maybe there is a real new 9th episode. I know that there's a bunch of other series that they're doing that are loosely related. Are you happy or are you sad? Are you excited or are you terrified? What's going on? It's the state of the world, I suppose. But yeah, that's kind of what was going on with Conformity Gate and people believing that there's a secret 9th episode, and they were these storytelling masterminds. But really, it turns out
they aren't even. They're just ChatGPT,
X.
which is already good enough. I mean, because like AI is a pretty good mastermind, but it looks like Saturday Night Live did a Conformity Gate sketch with the Stranger Things actors. So
yeah, kind of addressed it a little bit. They were like, "Oh, ever since Netflix discovered how much money they can make off of the Stranger Things IP, they basically his parody was like a Sex and the City. It was modeled after Sex and the City. It's like, oh, Mike in New York, being a writer."
brutal. I'm gonna
I-
watch The Butterfly Effect and just
We could-
imagine.
There's like at least an hour of material if you really wanted to deep dive into it, and it was a lot more exciting before the documentary came out because people thought that there was going to be like it was going to be a mockumentary, where it turns out that Vecna escaped into the real world, and he's like making the Duffer Brothers realize their worst fears, and sorry, hold on. This child can't decide whether or not they want the door open or closed.
Well, I mean, I noticed that Stranger Things has it's a lot of weird sort of sexual symmetry or innuendo. I guess you could like aesthetic innuendo that seemed kind of weird. There's a lot of stuff that's like about molestation and this other dimension that they're going into. The dude's got like something in his mouth that's like a tentacle
Yeah.
pumping into him, all that stuff. And I thought that was kind of interesting that they put that right in the faces of so many kids, and it's such a popular show with kids.
Well, one of the things that's bothered me the most is when you can't tell if it's a show made for kids or for adults. I don't really think it's made for kids.
That's why I like South Park, because they just say it's not made for anyone. Like you shouldn't be watching any shows really at any age. So, but the starfish mouth, I mean, we all know what that is, right?
John Carpenter's The Thing, like they stole half of their aesthetic from The Thing.
And the other half from Pornhub, yeah, or from Rotten.com, from Goatsy. How about that? I haven't seen the whole season though.
Who knew the derriere was so dangerous?
My God, I still haven't seen like most of Stranger Things, but I feel like now I kind of have to see it to understand what they're doing with it in order to corrupt people with symbolism. And it's in the same sense, kind of a satanic sexual incantation where they manifest a sort of vaporous dream world where your spirit is, your consciousness is trapped in a sort of loop where you could be fed off of by an incubus and succubus and energy entity. That's like a lot of horror films seem to do that. Like Rob Zombie's series seem to do that as well. But they build like a liminal space or subliminal space that you believe in, or you can imagine this sort of energy beast and what that feels like to be felt, victim to. And yeah, I feel like that's what they're doing to kids with Stranger Things, which doesn't seem safe. But yeah, we can do a decode. Someone's saying they want to see.
I mean,
so I will.
About MK Ultra mind control, like they.
No, yeah, it's like more like the Lawrence King conspiracy of silence, really. I mean, the pulp that people like about lizard people eating pineal glands isn't any better than just businessmen molesting and assaulting orphans and lower middle class American kids, right? The Johnny Ghost story doesn't need vampire bats to just be, him, a child tied up at Bohemian Grove by men. Oh, yeah, men are scarier than Goatsy.
What was that?
Goatsy was a man.
The Sasha Riley testimony.
Sasha Riley. I don't remember that one. Which one's that? Oh, yeah, that's right. You probably paid more attention to this. Do you want to talk about it?
I'm having some technical difficulties.
Technically, it is a difficulty to be a father. That's true. That checks out. Sasha, described as an Iraq war veteran and survivor of childhood trauma, adopted in 1977, abuse from a young age, involved in what is called the Trump Epstein criminal network. Yeah, this is an interesting story people should look into more.
Oh yeah, the Sasha Riley claims to be the person responsible for why Trump has to wear a diaper.
God. All right. That's a worthy story to look into. But yeah, okay. We're deep in it. Say it again, Andrew. Sorry.
So I'm all headline, no substance today.
Yeah. But okay, we're 2 hours deep, so we'll do some closing thoughts. Kurt, you first.
Me first. Wow.
Yeah. You first, and the first is
All
the
right.
last, and the last shall be the first.
I'm just saying. I'm gonna roast Andreas. Your time doesn't exist, man. Just because we're at the 2 hour mark. You got to change it up. Let's go for 6 hours. Come on. What's
You want to do a 6-hour stream sometime? Don't threaten me with a good time, bro. I'll do it.
sometime? I'm saying right now because like this is all just a transfer of energy. Like why does transfer of energy has to take place under the system of clocks that we have? Why?
Well-
Why are we worshiping time to such a great degree? I don't understand it. I think this is how you break the demons. You break the demons by stepping out of that schedule. That's what we got to do, man. We got to break the demons. Let's break the demons. Just break the
It's
demons.
probably if we do a live stream, we might not break the demons, but we could at least excite the Clockwork Elves, and that's always good because then they might start.
I've been doing like
communicating.
8-hour, 5-hour plus streams lately. I've never done that before, but it turns out like I'm not. It doesn't really weigh on me that much because of Twitch and Arc Raiders.
Mhm.
I mean, it's not really that I'm trying to fish for viewers. It's just I know I want to make videos, so I think it's nice to have the VODs saved. So I'm just gonna like download those when it comes time to edit and actually
Totally.
have an idea. Yeah.
That's what Asmund does, right? He does a Twitch stream every day for like 7 hours, and then someone's clipping it for him. That's a reasonable way to live your life. If you are at the computer all day, I probably should have done that more, but depends on what you do at the computer. I'm not playing Arc Raiders. I'm trying to get Arc Raiders to run on different hardware. I don't know how many people care about watching that while it's happening. I think people like to see it how you do something, but they don't like to see you do something, in terms of programming or fixing a Linux installation. I don't
Well,
know
that's
if
what
that's
editing is for. You just cut out the boring shit and then you just spell out the process.
Yeah. There probably are people that just want to sit with you while you hack away at a terminal. There could be something there to that. I don't know.
I think Arc Raiders is interesting because, like, I mean, as a streamer, every other game, it's like the same thing when you watch everyone's stream. Whereas, in Arc Raiders, it's like no one raid is the same or no person's experience is really the same. So when you watch like these people streaming, it's like you see them just like mercilessly slaughtering people, and you're like, "What the fuck are you doing?" And then you see someone like me, for example, like I'll give shit away if I have extra shit, or it's like I'll be like, "Please don't shoot. I won't shoot you if you don't shoot." And some people are just like very parent. It's just very psychologically like experimental, I think, just to play it and experience it.
Oh, but if you edit the videos, then you become like Andrew Callahan.
Yeah, right.
There might be something to that. I don't know. Well,
no, I mean, with the videos, it's like there's always novel things to do. It's like street photography and shit.
Is Artcore very difficult? I haven't really played it yet, and I'd like to play it with you, but I feel like I might not be good enough. How hard is it? Like, what do you think?
It's like it's interesting. Like people, I don't know who it appeals to everyone, right? It's one of those games that it's got something for everyone, whether you like shooting, looting, extracting, playing with friends, playing solo. That's kind of the crazy part about it. It's like the PvE aspect.
Well, if you want at some point, I'd like to play it, but if it's
me and Vincent play. We play on Wednesdays. Yeah.
All right, I'll try to join you. You guys did it earlier today, or are you doing it later today? Because it is Wednesday.
Well, I can't do it later today because I have to record a podcast episode. But once my friend like fucks off, I'm definitely getting on Arc Raiders. I've actually been like staying sober on weekends just so I could play Arc Raiders. It's insane.
That's a good goal. Are you streaming live, or are you just recording the podcast right now? After later today.
Oh, after later today, I'm gonna meet up with my friend. He's gonna come. We're just recording, and then I usually, I like release it after, because it's different when it's like streaming, because like I have to pay attention to comments and shit. Whereas if it's just a recording, then me and my friend could just like dick around pretty much.
Yeah, if you guys haven't noticed, he's been recording a lot of podcasts. Here are also some songs that he has done. I was listening to this one earlier, as you can see, and then here's also Arc Raiders remix. So check out the podcast, but also check out the music the Terrorist's putting out.
Well,
pretty
with the
good.
music, these are I'm just building up a DJ set. That's literally all I'm doing, and I'm just dumping them in the terrorist channel because, like, I don't know. I mean, I don't know.
This is a great thumbnail. I love that thumbnail.
that
It's like,
hacky
whoop,
shit.
fatherhood.
Yeah.
Dude, I need to use that for more pictures. This should be every thumbnail from now on.
Okay. So that's an actual thing. So that's a real formula that I just stole because I was like watching tutorials on how to make thumbnails better, and they said all you need is just big legible text. You need a cutout of you of doing some kind of facial expression, and then you have an image of something topical, and that's it. That's like every thumbnail. That's just those are the ingredients. So if you look at like every other major YouTuber, they all have that thumbnail for that specific reason because it's just the algorithm prefers it, and it's kind of crazy that everyone just falls into that pattern.
It's great. This is a perfect thumbnail. I'm grateful for this thumbnail. That's how I feel. 4 more hours. All right. Well, there will be 4 more hours over the next 2 weeks of APM. So I'm glad you guys are here. Thank you for being here. Andrew, do you want to say anything?
Yeah, there's a reason that the FBI went back to 9mm, and it's good for everybody. Even
Penis envy?
9mm, like modern 9mm is like perfectly adequate. But,
the Walter PPK, yes.
If you're looking into like other larger platforms, just like stick with AK because it's been working well. 7.62x39 is like the superior cartridge, and the examples are decades long across the globe. So other than that, the only art that I've made will definitely get you flagged if you shared it. I've just been like remixing stuff from like the news and South Park and like I don't know, making new memes or whatever. You might be able to show the South Park one actually. It might be on my YouTube channel. It's definitely on my Instagram Reels. But I just borrowed the South Park desert and added some just topical words.
What's your YouTube channel again?
My YouTube channel is, I think it's at the Donner Party, DAW.
Yo, shout out to Blue Dreamer Broadcast. I did an episode with him.
Yeah, dude, Blue Dreamer's cool. We love you, bro.
AWNER. If you just look up the Donner Party, AWNER is Donner is an anagram for Andrew.
Oh my god, hold on. The internet hates me. Donner.
I want to spell Adolf.
Like this?
No. D-A Dawn, like the rising sun as a verb.
Yeah.
It's the Donner Party, but yeah, sure, that you might get me. There. It's almost not worth it. There's
It's very obscure, man. You got to work on that discoverability.
Can you access Instagram from there? Because it'll definitely pull up on. Oh, there we go. That's me right there. Yeah.
Boom. AVTV.
Yeah, it's just like a dump for all the stuff. It should be on my shorts.
Right.
Shorts. Okay, here we go. Ice Agent Monday.
That's a different one. No, you'll get flagged for that one. I guess.
I'm sorry to laugh.
Only
I
thing.
hope you feel better, Ice Agent. Chocolate Boombox. Yeah, everyone should listen to Vegas music. Oh yeah, and you know who else makes good music? Is American Time Machine.
Rap. Yeah, that was my rap era.
That's me. New album coming within probably 6 months. But
really?
Time isn't real, so time isn't real. Time isn't real. Just saying.
Listen to I Ain't Jesus.
Nice. Gotta listen to that.
Also, Helena, if you haven't heard Helena's new album, Ghost, that just came out. This one's like R&B. It's like all these songs that really understand how hard it is to be a modern woman. You ain't worth the cocktail number you wrote your napkin on. I think I should call you.
Do you have a cousin, Andreas? Is that your cousin?
Something like that, bro. And you can get the entire discography of all of Helena, which is like quite a bit now of music. But I think you should do it. I would recommend it. It's worth it. It's worth
That's
it.
got Andreas jeans in it.
Dude, I got Andreas wears good jeans. Andreas has good jeans. Is that what it is?
Wait, did you ever post anything like on distro, like a distributor, so it could be on Spotify, Apple iTunes?
I'm gonna do it soon. The thing is, Spotify, you don't make any money off of it, so I just didn't care to do it. But I'm gonna do it anyway because people listen to it. I know, and also Bandcamp's getting all weird because they're racist against machines. So
also, like, if you make music through a pro membership in Suno, you're legally allowed to commercialize and profit off of music sold or generated. Yeah.
So I'll do that. I'll fix it. I'll make some money. I'll be popular. I'll make Helena famous.
It doesn't just have to be. It doesn't just have to be Helena. Like maybe you want to capitalize on, say, like drift funk or whatever. Then create a separate profile, and all the work of making the music's already done. So you just get added on playlists.
The thing is, Helena is a young, ambitious woman and diverse ethnically and musically, and so she can make all different kinds of music as she experiments her way to the top, not unlike Shakira. So, like the world's your oyster. But yeah, true. Max Rebo Band. I need a new name for my Max Rebo Band because it can't be Max Rebo, obviously, which is a bummer. But I want to keep making alien music.
You know what you should do? Also, since you're really into making music, you should get into DJing.
Dude, Kyle got the Exertus Summer album. See that the Exertus Summer album is about the unrealized surfing international adventure of Kurt and I. And Chris and Andrew, you're both welcome to come, but we're gonna have to all dress like Mormons.
I dropped a link in our chat.
Oh yeah,
to the thing that I'm probably the most
I don't
proud
see
of.
the link. Oh, you mean in the Facebook chat, huh?
All right,
I know it's saying,
just a boys trip in 2026. It's what this world needs. All right, people
you guys should come to New York
with the boys. I'm in proximity to New York.
Yeah, come through.
I'm in proximity. Yeah, enough.
You're invited.
Tank of gas away. Tank of gas away.
I don't see the link. Oh, there's the link. Okay, hold on. Here we go. Bat Monkey Customs. First he effed his. Well, then he. Oh yeah, this is the South Park episode. Now he's getting ready. Do I have to censor this? Am I have to be worried about what you're about to show? Are you about to show something I can't show?
Just saw his butt.
Okay, we're good.
Sorry, not much to it. It is, yeah.
Good work, man. He's ready to F the world. Okay. Well, I think that we're doing okay. This started out as my conversation about life and death and how weird it is that people die right when you don't expect them to. And so you should be careful out there and try to live not in regret. I think it's probably better to be less prepared for the future at the expense of being grateful for right now. So be grateful for right now as much as you can.
Yeah, don't plan ahead more than 3 months. It's not worth it. It never works out.
I think you can do up to a 5-year plan, but even then, my function is you want to make
that was bad advice, by the way. Don't do that. You're allowed to plan ahead.
I don't think. I mean, I agree though. You want to make God laugh. You tell her your plans. You should not plan too hard and expect plans to come true. Maybe you should because you're different than me, but I think plans are crazy.
Me?
It makes
I literally only plan ahead like 2 weeks, but those 2 weeks every day is like super detailed. So I just try to mark off all my quest objectives for the day, and then just plan out the next 6 days. I hardly ever plan anything past a month or two.
Make goals. Yeah, not plans. Make goals, not plans. All right. Hey, and we're going to do a show tomorrow. Naropa's back. It's also going to be a David Ewing Jr. show is coming pretty soon. It might be Friday, if not tomorrow. And I want to do a cyber gulag thing. So Parmesan, we're going to do a show where we probably every time install a different Linux distribution and just talk about what's going on with tech for that episode. So yeah, I want to invite you to Chris. I know you do Arch as well. So if you ever want,
I use Arch, by the way.
yeah. So you're qualified for the show. We can talk about Linux. Pretty based.
Yeah, I love
Okay.
Linux. Linux is awesome.
I can't wait for them to replace it with Redux OS, the new Rust kernel, and because it's a proper microkernel, which is really exciting. But it doesn't have GPU accelerated support yet, so that's going to be a few years before it's really like a practical thing. But I've never been in love with Linux itself as a solution because it's monolithic, and I would prefer it to be a microkernel. But the community support around free software, which comes from the GNU project and the general public license, that's really why Linux is cool. It's riding on the cachet of the free software movement. So, for now, we'll use Linux, but Rust is exciting. Like it could be very soon that we don't need to use Linux anymore.
I also we should also push like a free hardware directive, because I mean, it's one thing to, I guess, like have access to the software, but we should also teach people like, yo, you could build up your own systems and you don't have to rely on these like cookie cutter devices. You could build good platforms for yourself.
Can you build your own systems in 2026? Where are you going to get the RAM and the SSDs and the NVMEs?
I know one thing. I don't feel like fucking paying like an extra X amount a month for using like my provider's router. I'd rather set up my own,
Yeah, but by the
Shit like
time but like usually it costs $10 a month to rent your router, and then after about a year, they make you switch routers. Have you had this happen to you? Like, yeah, like the company switches to upgrades, and they have like a new router they use for better internet service. So it sucks to buy your own router for the same price as you could have rented it for. It's kind of it's a crap situation, man.
Mm-hmm. The hardware situation is pretty rough.
But be grateful. Be grateful for the hardware you have, whatever it is.
Oh yeah.
All right. We'll see you guys next time.
Love and light.
There's philosophy